Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Happy January. My name is Rio Omariam, and I am your admission representative. Today, we are going to be discussing some really important and critical steps for students that are looking to start here at College of DuPage, because we're going to be focusing on the next steps, especially financial aid and scholarships. So again, my name is Rio Omariam. I will be hosting more sessions throughout the remaining months of the semester. Each of these sessions are designed to specifically cover a really important process with the whole enrollment to COD. So today, the focus will be with financial aid and scholarships. So that's going to allow me to introduce our next person, Jennifer Stewart. She is here from COD as well. Jennifer, can you talk a little bit about yourself and just give yourself a little introduction?
Sure. My name is Jennifer Stewart, and I am one of the financial aid reps here on campus. So I work with Rio a lot, talking with high school students, incoming freshmen about the financial aid process. So the information that we have today to share is just general information, getting you familiar with some of the financial aid screens, letting you know what's going to be happening for fall of 2021 and scholarships. So just kind of give you a sneak peek of what to start expecting, once we start processing everything, hopefully in the springtime.
And last but not least, I would also love to introduce Ms. Sue Sanders. She and I have been working for many years helping students get their feet going and getting started at College of DuPage. So Ms. Sanders, if you can share a few words before we get the presentation going.
All right. Yeah, usually we're meeting in the MERC as seniors. We're helping you get your College of DuPage application completed, get scholarships, get everything set up for going to COD. But this year we're doing it via Zoom. We're really glad that, I think we see about 7 or 8 of you on here. We're hoping you will continue coming to these meetings. I am here on behalf of school counselors. They are, I'm a retired one, but I still helped get these meetings together. Also, we have FAFSA meetings also that we do. So, but Rio's a great resource and very helpful. And Jennifer.
Thank you so much for your support and being always such a great cheerleader with College of DuPage. Please note that today's session, we will be recording it and also having it available via the Lombard West YouTube channel. So again, we will be going through the steps. We are asking that you keep your questions till the end. Jennifer and I will be sharing some important slides and important information with some visuals of how to get going with some of our things. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So thank you, Jennifer and Sue. We're going to go ahead and start with the whole process with starting with the MyAccess account. So with College of DuPage, hopefully at this point of the enrollment process, you have completed your application. Hopefully you got your welcome to College of DuPage email with your COD ID number, as well as the links to your MyAccess account and the links to your College of DuPage email. Within that welcome email, you can also find your COD ID number. The COD ID number is what we use in the place of a social security number. So when you are talking to different offices, we want you to get into the habit of using your social security number, your COD ID number, so it can be more secure in terms of your identity when you're contacting offices and putting that information. So another thing to be mindful of with your COD ID number, you will need to use that to create your MyAccess account. So what you see on the screen right now is your College of DuPage MyAccess account website. You'll want to have your COD ID number in mind and have it ready available when you click on to the box that says I'm new to MyAccess/reset my password. You will want to follow the instructions. It's going to have a password that is a temporary password sent to your personal email. really, that is the only time after you've completed your application that COD will be using your personal email for your communication. Once you've received your Welcome to College of DuPage email, all official communication goes to your COD account. And MyAccess, this is going to be critical because the username and the password to get into the College of DuPage email is going to be created and using the MyAccess username, which is going to be the result when you enter your COD ID number and your last name. So you want to make sure that after you find this screen, the very next screen is going to give you your username. This is going to be some version of your last name, a first initial. If it is a common last name first initial, then there might be some numbers associated with it. And then after you go to your personal email and follow the prompts to log in with that personal email, you'll then be able to create a password that you'll be able to use uniquely as how you create it. And then that MyAccess username and that password is going to be the universal login for everything College of DuPage related. And like I said, the College of DuPage email, which is really important. So MyAccess, not only is it a username that's going to be used for everything College of DuPage, but it is also a website that gives you portals to your financial aid status. This is going to be an area where you can find important forms as a continuing student that you will be needing to address, like with records, with the payment and the cashier's office. This is also how you can register for classes. So you'll get very familiar with your MyAccess account, but at this stage in the game, we want you to be aware of it, to know that you're going to be using it primarily at this point for getting into MyAccess, getting into your College of DuPage email, and also making sure that that is what is used for checking your financial aid status. So I mentioned a lot about the email. How you access the email is by going on to COD's website. It is an Outlook account. And this is actually the only time when you're asked to log into something COD related where you're going to use your MyAccess username with the ending @dupage.edu, just like how we have it circled on the screen. So the password, like I said, is going to be the same as the MyAccess password, and the official communication from the college is going to be directed to your College of DuPage email. And again, what you see on the screen is your visual. We also use that MyAccess account to create your COD portal. The COD portal is going to be used often for placement testing, which is going to be a whole separate session that we're going to have later on this year. But I wanted to kind of also show you where at this point you might want to log into your portal so you can get some refreshers of these steps that we're talking about. What you see on the screen where it is circled steps to enrollment, it has the little chappy head. I'm going to try to move my picture, my image. But when you click onto that button within the portal, you'll actually see a lot of the steps that I have been discussing throughout our sessions this year. You'll see also some tutorials with financial aid that Jennifer will be discussing. So this is a great place for you to go and review the sequence of the steps that is needed, and also helpful tutorials as to how to go about the steps. So now I'm going to switch off my camera and my microphone, and I'm going to let Jennifer talk about financial aid and how all of the communications that I just discussed works together and ties in. Thank you, Jennifer.
You're welcome. Will I be able to advance the slides? Because I don't think I have access to. Okay.
Let me know if you see that right now.
Okay. I think I'm.
Yes, you're controlling the screen, Jennifer.
Okay, cool. Thank you. All right. So This is the financial aid part. So hopefully at this point, the majority of you have already started and have submitted your free application for federal student aid for fall of 2021. So that would be the 2021-2022 FAFSA application. If you have already submitted that FAFSA information and you have not heard from our office, that's correct. It usually takes us a little bit of time to get our system updated for the fall. So during the springtime, you should start getting emails to your COD email address confirming that we were able to access your FAFSA information and to request any additional verification documents that we need based on what your FAFSA results indicate. If you are not eligible to file the FAFSA because you are not a US citizen in the sense that you are either undocumented or you're a DACA student, there is the alternative application for Illinois financial aid. So the difference between the two is the FAFSA, that free application, that you're applying for federal and state aid. The alternative application for Illinois financial aid is simply applying for the Illinois MAP grant. So you're not applying for federal aid, it's just that one program. Usually how it works is once you submit your FAFSA, we get your results in 3 to 4 days. Again, because fall, we have not yet started processing that information, there is going to be a delay at this point. But again, in the springtime, hopefully around March or so, we should start contacting you as to the next steps for fall of 2021. Like Rio mentioned, everything is going to go through your COD email address. So now would be a great time, if you have not already started to get accustomed to that COD email, make sure you start logging in there at least once a week. Once we start processing your financial aid, you'll want to start checking that a little bit more consistently, just to make sure you're not missing out on any award notifications or any incomplete documents. The emails that we send are always directing you to take some sort of action. So it's either, okay, we got your FAFSA information, we need you to log into your financial aid self-service, which is your portal for financial aid, to either complete required documents, sign your award letter, accept your financial aid awards. So it's really important you're paying attention to those emails because it's asking you to take some sort of action. If your FAFSA results indicate that we need to request some verification documents, so that might be requesting tax returns, that might be verifying household size, might be verifying untaxed income, anything that you need to submit to our office. Once it's returned to us, it does take about a 2 to 3 week processing time before we're able to update your award letter. So that's why it's really important you're checking that COD email, because if we've been sending you emails in March, April, May, and you haven't logged into your email until say August, you're missing all of that time for us to process your information. So it's really important that you keep tabs on that COD email. Once your award letter is available, again, we'll send you an email to your COD email, letting you know that you can log back into your financial aid self-service and view your award letter. All right, so this is what your MyAccess student portal is going to look like. You have a section for academics, registration, student planning, and then you have this section for financial aid. I've been mentioning financial aid self-service a lot. This is the student portal that you're going to log into to view your financial aid status. So you're going to log into MyAccess. Under financial aid, click on financial aid self-service. It's then going to take you to your checklist. So this is where you're going to be able to view the entire process of your financial aid. So if you were to log into your financial aid self-service right now, it would say the very first one, action needed, that you need to submit your FAFSA application. But again, it's going to show that that's missing because we haven't updated it for 2021, 2022. Once we start processing, it should show the first step as completed. Second step, there's action needed, there's documents that you need to complete. So anything in yellow is going to prevent anything from below being updated. So your award letter is not going to be available until you've completed those required documents. What I do want to note is on every page in your financial aid self-service, we are going to let you know what your satisfactory academic progress is. So Department of Education progressing in their classes. So even though you may demonstrate enough financial need to qualify for, say, a $6,000 Pell Grant, Department of Education is going to require that you maintain a 2.0 cumulative GPA, You complete at least 67% of all the credit hours you attempt at College of DuPage. If you're not completing those standards, you're going to risk losing that funding. So again, even though you're financially eligible for those grants, if you're not academically progressing, it's going to cause your financial aid to be suspended at College of DuPage. So at the end of every semester, we are going to update your status. So if you have a green bar, that means everything's good, you're in good standing, you're meeting those requirements. If you have a yellow bar up here, it's going to show that you're on warning, which means, okay, you've done one semester, you haven't met, one of those requirements. When the bar turns red, that means you're now on suspension. So that means for 2 semesters in a row, you have not been able to maintain either the cumulative GPA or the 67% completion rate. So it's really important that you're always keeping tabs on your self-service to see where your status is. But we will also send you an email to your COD email at the end of every semester, letting you know what your status is. So for us, what we're going to do is we're going to click on Complete Required Documents. It's going to take us to another screen that's going to list out verification documents that you need to submit to us before we can determine your financial aid award. I do want to just note that this is not a complete list of documents that we would request of every student. The documents that are requested are going to be based on what your FAFSA information indicates. So if your FAFSA information indicates we need to verify tax information, then we'll populate either requesting you or your parents' tax information. If we need to verify, say, household size, there's going to be a verification worksheet you need to complete. There may be some students where the only form you have to complete is a bookstore authorization form, and that's allowing us to release any financial aid funds to the bookstore so you can have financial aid funds to purchase your books. So again, every student is going to be different. Not every student is going to have the same documents that will need to be requested. The key thing you want to remember is anything that's marked as incomplete is going to stop that award letter from going through. So it's really important that you keep tabs on that financial aid self-service. Okay. Once everything's been completed, so we've already submitted the FAFSA, we've completed the documents, what's already been reviewed by our office, the next action that's needed is we want you to review your award package. So if we click on that link, okay, it's going to go ahead and take us to your award letter. Your award letter, again, every screen you go on, it's going to let you know what your financial aid status is as far as your academic standing. So your award letter is broken down into 2 main components. The first component is going to list out any grants and scholarships that have been awarded to you. What you will notice is under this section, you will always see the status as accepted. So if you are awarded a federal Pell Grant, if you're awarded an Illinois MAP grant, if you have scholarship funds out there, that status will automatically be accepted. So there's nothing additional you need to do in your financial aid self-service to have your federal Pell Grant or Illinois MAP grant accepted for you. It's automatically accepted by our office. The reason being is grant money is money you don't pay back. So we're going to go ahead and accept that for you. When the semester begins, we will then apply the grant money to your tuition charges. So again, there's nothing you need to do to initiate any of that payment to go through. It will automatically go through when the semester begins. The second portion of your award letter is going to list out loans. Everybody is going to have a loan that's going to be offered to them. So you're going to see in this one under status, it's listed as pending. We do not automatically accept your loans. The reason being is a loan is a debt you're taking on. So by you accepting one of those loans, you are stating that you do understand it's money that you will pay back when you're done with school. So once you're no longer enrolled in at least 6 credit hours, you will enter repayment on that loan. This is the only form of financial aid that you need to take some action on. So at the bottom of the page, you'll see this link that says accept or decline all. By clicking that, it only pertains to any of the awards set to pending, which is your loans. So if this is your award letter and all you want is the grants, then there's nothing you need to accept. Because again, keep in mind, if you're clicking this link, you're accepting those federal direct loans. So grant scholarship money is money you don't pay back, provided you attend your classes and pass your classes successfully. Loans, money that you would pay back 6 months after you're done with school. So I talked about scholarships a little bit. So to receive or apply for a scholarship, you don't necessarily have to file the FAFSA. However, there are a number of scholarships that will require the FAFSA to be filed. So even if you've submitted the FAFSA or the alternative application for Illinois financial aid, you can still apply for scholarships. So it is possible to get grants and scholarships together. The more grants and scholarships you receive, the less loans that we would then have to award to you. So grant money is based on financial need, where the federal processor is solely looking at income and household size. Scholarships looks at different criteria. Scholarships could be based on financial need, so they will look at income information, but it could be based solely on academics. So regardless what the family income is, you could receive a scholarship based solely on merit, so whatever your grades are. There could be scholarships based on the fact that you are a first generation student. So again, regardless of income, there's scholarships for first generation student. There could be scholarships on a certain field of study you want to go into. So if you're going into healthcare, you're going into criminal justice, you're going into a vocational program, there may be scholarships specifically for that. There could be scholarships based on the fact that you volunteer. Some scholarships could combine multiple requirements. So it could say, okay, we're going to award you, say, a freshman scholarship that you can apply for. It's a freshman, but we also want to make sure you're maintaining, a 2.5 GPA. So some of them may tie multiple requirements together. So each scholarship application will have its own eligibility requirement. Some may require the FAFSA to be filed. Some may require those letters of recommendation, but not all scholarships will require the same thing. Fall scholarships, we opened up on January 15th. The last day to apply is March 31st. So I would highly encourage everybody to start looking at our fall scholarships. To apply, you would go to cod.academicworks.com. As long as you've done your COD admission application, on the right-hand side, there'll be a link for you to log in. You're going to log in with your MyAccess username and your MyAccess password. What it will do is it'll take you to a general application where you're going to answer some qualifying questions about you. So what this Academic Works program does is it tries to create a profile of who you are and then matches it against the scholarships in our database to see which ones fit you as a student. So instead of going through 140 scholarships that we're offering for fall, the system is going to go through those and see which ones are applicable to you. So the general application is going to ask, if you're, maybe going into performing arts, if you are doing study abroad, if you're doing, if you're registered with Access and Accommodations, if you're a first generation student, if you're the parent, if you're the child of a single parent household. So a lot of those questions that don't show up on your admission application that are more than just academics. So it'll then provide you with a list of scholarships that you can then apply for. Again, the deadline for fall is March 31st. So we really want to encourage you all to apply for scholarships. There is a COD Scholars Award, and that one is based solely on merit. So it is to be eligible to apply for it. There are GPA requirements that you would need to meet. The deadline to apply for that is June 1st. And again, you would apply for it directly through cod.academicworks.com. And you would indicate on there that you're a graduating high school senior, and it would populate that provided you have met those GPA requirements.
So, all right, this is Rio Amaria, coming back to just do a quick overview on some of the important links that you'll find on COD's homepage. If you go to cod.edu and click under the quick links, you'll see that the areas that we talked about in today's presentation are circled in red. So the main points that we talked about was MyAccess and the importance of creating that MyAccess account. Again, that MyAccess account is some version of your last name, first initial. And once you create your password, that is going to be the username and password for everything COD related. You'll be able to see your financial aid self-service under MyAccess. You'll be able to schedule and build and pay for your classes all through MyAccess account. Then also here under student email, that's when you will be able to receive the official communication, especially from financial aid. The login for your College of DuPage email is always your username at dupage.edu and the same password as your MyAccess password. And again, just to reiterate, all official communication, including the notifications from financial aid, does go to your official College of DuPage email. So if you have more questions and would like to maybe have a one-on-one conversation about some of the things that we discussed on today's session, feel free to contact me, Rio Almaria, your admission representative for Glenbard West. And you can email to request a Zoom or phone appointment by contacting almaria@cod.edu. If you have financial aid questions, if you need some guidance on that financial aid self-service, you can contact Jennifer Prusco, Jennifer Stewart, but her email is prusco@cod.edu. Thank you, Glenbard West. Have a wonderful rest of your day.